Listen, sometimes in your life, there are certain things that don't make sense. Your life is challenged. You are pulling very hard. And there is something that you want to do. You are not sure if it will work out the way that you want it to work out. Sometimes there is an opportunity that you know it might be successful, but you are scared if indeed it will happen. You've got this ultimatum in front of you. You've got this challenge that if you don't do it, you are in serious trouble. Sometimes in your life, you are so confused that you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. When you look at your life, you don't know whether you're going backward or forward. Let me tell you, never be afraid, never be perplexed. There are many instances where they were perplexed, where they were challenged because they didn't know what's going to happen. Sometimes it is a deed of God, and sometimes it can be a negative challenge. Let me just tell you, in the book of Judges 6 verse 14, God wanted to send Gideon on a mission, but Gideon went to hide. He was weak. He lost the strength. Why? Because God expected him to do a very big mission to overthrow the Midianites that actually took over Israel because Israel was captured. Never be afraid. Sometimes God is trying to put you on a mission that comes in a form of challenge. You need to come out of your comfortable space and take charge of what God expected to do. In the book of Exodus 4 verse 12, Moses was also afraid, just like you are. Because God expected him to go and release the children of Israel out of bondage. But he was so scared, just like you now. But God raised his hand and said to Moses, "Fear not, for I will go forth in front of you." Do not be afraid when you have to take charge of a situation, because God is in control. God will guide your steps. God will lead your way. In the book of Matthew, I think it's 14 verse 31. Peter, just like you, was afraid. Jesus said to him, "Peter, walk on top of this water. Come to me." When Peter was walking, he felt a magnetic charge that was pulling him from below, from the bottom. Then when he was sinking, he started to be scared and said, "Jesus, oh my God." Jesus said, "Peter, do not be scared. You've got this." I want to tell you that do not be scared. You got this. You got God's hand. You got this. Jesus hold Peter's hand. And when Jesus hold Peter's hand, it's not that Jesus helped Peter, but Jesus' hand was so magnetically charged or connected to an extent that when he touched Peter, whatever that was pulling Peter from below felt the magnetic repellent and released Peter. And Peter was saved. And Jesus said, "You man with little faith, I've got you. You've got this." I want to tell you, do not have little faith. No matter how little your faith is, like a mustard seed, just know that it will produce exploit. My God. Let me tell you, you don't have to be afraid. You need to regain your strength and know that you will overcome. There was a man called Daniel. There was a man called Daniel. I think it's in the book of Daniel 6 verse 16. Daniel was put in a lion's den by a king called Darius, King Darius. The expectation was when they put Daniel in the lions, then the lions will consume Daniel. But Daniel was never afraid like you. Daniel regained his strength. He was so strong that he even had faith that the lion will never consume him. By the time he went into the lion's den, because of his faith, please have the same faith. Because of his faith, the lion started fasting. When Daniel went out, they brought another people to get in, and the lion consumed them. You need not be afraid. Regain your strength. In the book of Matthew 13, verse 42, there were 3 men again that you don't have to be afraid. They regained their strength. There was a cruel king called Nebuchadnezzar who put Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego into a furnace of fire, hot fire. But because the 3 men were not afraid, they had kept their faith, they kept their belief, and they had their grace. They simmered in their grace. When they went in there, when King Nebuchadnezzar opened the furnace and expected them to be ashes, he saw them coming out. Proudly so, boldly so. And he was shocked. He also started believing in what they believe in. So never be afraid. Like Moses. Never be afraid. Even when they expected Noah to build the ark, he was afraid. Little did he know that he's the best project manager on the planet. The first. Never be afraid. Sometimes some problems come to your life to give you solutions. You are not getting me. Sometimes some challenges, they are taking you to your own destiny. Sometimes the heavy loads that you have are testing your strength and your power to prove to you that you can make it. Never let go. Do not be afraid. Gain your strength. For God will not give you what you can't handle. No matter what you are faced with, no matter the challenges that you have, no matter the uncertainty of tomorrow, no matter who says you will not make it, no matter the boundaries, no matter your days they have counted, no matter you coming from a lower level, no matter you coming from a poor background, it doesn't matter. Your situation is not dictated by where you are coming from. Your situation is not dictated by where you are. Your situation is dictated by where you will be. Be in